plastic bag on and I seal it up, and obviously it's going to be held up. Then I don't water it again until I just check it, and if it's dry, then I'll add a little bit of water.
So how long of time are you keeping it in the house?
Some of them will root in 4 or 5 days. Others of them will take 2 to 6 weeks to root. So it just depends on what you're rooting. Okay.
How do you know if it's rooted? I mean, you
Oh,
have to pull
what I
pick it
simply do
out.
is if I've got a whole tray of these,
Yeah.
I'll just pop it up and I'll say, oh, looky there, roots, cool. Okay, then I'll know the rest of them are all ready and I'll take them. So, and if it's not ready, oh, not ready, put it back in. Okay, keep going. I mean, it's not rocket science. And you can't hurt it by pulling it up to check for roots. So no, I wouldn't pull up the same one again. The next time I'm checking, I pull up a different one. Because you don't want to stress the poor little thing out. It's going to say, wait a minute, why are you picking on me all the time? Yeah, so, okay. So, anyway, what are the other things we're doing? Oh, this is one of my favorite sticking tools, by the way, is pencils. They work really, really good. Okay, I've got some creeping Charlie here. I've got some rosemary here. I've got some Cuphea starfire. Do you know what that is? It's a really good plant. Hummingbirds love this stuff. I've got this all over my yard. I made it from cuttings. And the hummingbirds stick their little beaks down inside the little red flowers. They just absolutely go wild for it. It's fabulous. All of those little trays are for you guys. I want you to grab a thing of dirt. I want you to take some of these cuttings and I want you to start preparing them. And you don't have to bother about the rooting hormone. And this is just a learning experience. You don't have to do the sterilization thing today either. Huh?
You have a really high top on that.
Yes.
I have one at home that's this high.
That's what, you know what, that's a very good point.
That height.
You need this height. And if you go online and you go to garden center stores, you can buy one of these. They're not that expensive. I think it's like $7. And it's also got a vent control here for moisture control.
I have the ad.
Which is nice. So this is what you need for cutting because it's going to be taller than that one you get at Lowe's or Home Depot.
And you need that height. Why? Why do you need such height?
Because most of the stuff you're sticking is going to be sticking up this high.
But if it's not, if it's that low like those.
If it's that low, then you could use your other one.
Oh, so the only reason is that if the plant is high to begin with.
Yes.
That's the only.
That's the only reason. You just want to keep the moisture in until the roots develop.
I get that.
Yeah.
But if it's not touching the top, then you're fine with this.
Exactly. If it's not touching the top, you're fine with the other one. Or a plastic bag. Yeah, that works just fine too.
To propagate roses, would
Yes.
you just use all vermiculite or would you use this cactus tone?
Do you know what? A lot of people just use plain water. They take a cane from the roses and they'll stick it in water and it'll root directly in the water. But you can also do it in soil. But actually, some people prefer the water method. As a matter of fact, if you look over here, I've actually got there's a pot of water. And apparently they decided to do this. You stick a pot of water somewhere, you grab a cutting from something, you stick it in the water, you come back later, it's got roots. Yeah, exactly. Pussy willows, witch hazel. I mean,
Charlie.
huh?
With the creeping Charlie, I do that.
Exactly. Oh yeah, pothos. Pothos is amazing. It'll grow in water like for its whole life or something. I don't know how it does that. Plants are easy. They want to grow roots. Just give them something to grow in. They'll do it. It's easy.
How do you know which ones what you can just stick in water? Is that just trial and error?
Yeah, pretty much trial and error. Yes.
So if you stick it in water, how do you keep it from, would you put like maybe a teaspoon of peroxide in there? Like, how do you keep it from like molding up and like do you just change the water frequently?
Yeah, I just change the water about every 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? This one hasn't been changed probably since the last rain. I think rain is what's feeding it. So apparently it still works.
Ready to plant now?
Yeah.
I mean, that's enough fruit. How do you know when it's enough fruit?
Looks like enough roots to me.
Will it survive? How did you put it in soil?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stick it back in the water.
Okay.
It's not mine.
No, but I'm like, just because it gets used to so much water all the time. So how does it?
Oh yeah, you mean like how does it adapt from all water to soil? They're pretty darn adaptable, but if you're worried about that, just keep it extra wet for a few and then just get gradually dried off. You can see these fig trees and stuff, these were all done by cuttings. Those are stick cuttings right there. They're gonna grow 4 brand new trees that way. This one is apricot. They're making it, oh that's a graft. But all of these, David said most of the plants in this garden were all done by cuttings.
5 minutes till they're ready.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, grab your thing and do it quick. Yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. Hardwood trees, fruit trees, those need to be grafted. They're not easy to do from cuttings. And you won't get something true to the parent either, because the grafted tree is specifically designed. For that, yes. Okay. That makes sense. Cool. Okay. So let's get these down here. Get them in space. Go ahead. happy just pinching it off.
This
So you want to use the end of it. Yeah, so here, if you pick one of these, what do you want?
Let you know how to do that.
Okay, so you're going to use this one. You're only going to want to use, like, this portion of it right here. That's your best part. And then take off all your flowers. And then get rid of all the bottom leaves. And then cut it just a little bit below the node.
Can I see the two nodes? Oh, okay. So you have that one, and there's two there. But which one? I mean, so that's one that goes under, and this one is above.
Both of those would be below the ground.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is a node, but you just don't see it. I mean,
Yeah, actually this one's got several nodes. If you look under here deeply, this is one, that's two, and there's one fourth one there too. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can have that.
this
Let me see. Let me see how you did. And you took off all the leaves below the ground? Yeah. And how many nodes do you have underground? 3. Perfect.
Should you cut off the flowers?
Yes, take all the flowers off, definitely. And any little start of a new flower. See that? That's part of the stem that could heal. Oh yeah, then start another one.
now is that another one?
That's another. Yes. Those are on the order. Do you guys want to make one? Yeah?
I need to let other people because I've done this.
Okay.
But
Why do you cut scissors?
Sure. And I have razor blades here if anybody wants razor blades. But you can also just do it with your fingers. You don't need to have a tool.
Sure.
Thank you.
with the when you're grafting, what's the size of the piece that you can graft onto?
Oh, well,
I guess let's say if you wanted to, you saw somebody had a great, apricot tree. They have a great
Yeah.
apricot, and you just wanted to grow that. Could you just take like 6 inches, or
okay. Now, what are you going to put this graft onto?
onto another apricot tree?
Okay, so you have a rootstock at home. You're
Yeah.
growing an apricot tree, and you want to take your neighbor's apricot tree and graft it onto it.
Yeah.
As long as the diameter of the stem you're taking and the diameter of the stem you're putting it on are about the same.
Okay.
So that's what the difference is. You want to make sure that all the little layers, when you cut a tree, they all have to line up together.
Okay. All right. And the length of the graft, the piece that you're grafting on.
Sometimes it's just a little bud.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the buds, most of the commercial growers use bud grafting because they get a higher success rate. Okay,
multiple ones, and
yes. Oh, absolutely. You can do multiples in one. You can take those home?
can I?
Sure. Absolutely. I can take a kufia?
I have one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'll try another one then.
Oh, did you cut the top off though? Why did you cut the top off?
I thought I was getting rid of the flowers.
Oh yeah, but you don't. Let me show you. You don't get rid of the flowers that way. Yeah, you did. You did it wrong, but that's okay. It's a good learning trick.
Yeah.
When you want to take the flower off, you actually just grab the flower and just pull it off. Okay. And then when you pull the flower off here, and see right here, you pull this flower off, right? Pull that flower off. Pull that flower off. Then you've got a little flower bud right there. Pull that one off. This one had a lot of flowers in it. But you keep the rest.
Okay.
Okay?